Google. Let's go get him again.
Radiant Bergamot, man, this thing right here got a huge hype way back when because, and I truly think this, a lot of fragrances, this happens to them is that they're hard to find. So people like to be the first ones to review them and start the hype train and make it, it's hard to find. So people are searching out for it. It was in unicorn status, right? People are almost thinking, does this thing really exist? Things have slowed down dramatically now. Time of shoot 2020. It's much more available now. So at the end of the day now that I'm doing this fragrance review, was it that good? Is this thing good? Or was the unicorn status really making this one better than advertised? That's where I come into play. So stay tuned. Ferrari, you're up to bat. Fragrance family, welcome to the Robezoid channel. I'm your host, Mark. This is the end of the road for any fragrance on the Robezoid channel. Unless you're really, really good, you're going to make a top 20 list on my channel. But other than that, this might be the end of the road for you. So a review, what does it consist of? Months of testing. And today I'm putting my nose on the house of Ferrari. And this is their Bergamot release from the Essence line called Radiant Bergamot. Look at that green juice. That's radioactive juice right there. Now, the House of Ferrari, I have reviewed a few of their fresher scents, notably, and no pun intended, Noble Fig and Bright Neroli, both from the O series where this one belongs in. Now, I'm currently testing Leather Essence, so it's going to be the next one. So we're going to have a darker Ferrari review from me next. And yeah, put in the comments below which one of these that are left in my collection now that you'd like to see reviewed. I got a couple more that I need to review from the House of Ferrari. Now let's go under the hood. Let's delve into some stats on this one. Release date was back in 2016. Concentrations eau de toilette. The nose behind this one is Melanie Sarestia. Now the resume for Melanie is 4 fragrances on her resume. One is an Acqua di Parma, which I can see some Acqua di Parma qualities rubbing off in this current release actually. The olfactory group for this one, citrus aromatic. This is a thin release. You're not going to get much backbone out of this release, so classified citrus aromatic. Let's take a look at the note breakdown on this one. Up top we have bergamot, lemon, and ginger. In the mid, we have some spices here and a floral geranium, rosemary, and nutmeg. In the back end, we have some darker notes, labdanum, moss, and patchouli. So the key notes to my nose would have to be the moss. So you're going to get some green aspects, and with the juice color, obviously the green is supposed to be about the bergamot, but you're going to get bergamot, obviously, as per the name, and rosemary. So you're going to get a lot of green notes. You're going to get some herbal takes here. So let's delve into Radiant Bergamot. It is my scent of the day today, so I got the dry down on me, but I want to remind myself of the introduction on the back of my hand here, and a couple sprays in front of me to remind me of this introduction. So this thing hits me up with some zest, some brightness, and very clean as a fragrance. That's the first things that come to mind. So let me paint you a picture here. I feel like this one is just like Bright Neroli. It brings me to the countryside of Italy, and that's what Ferrari is trying to do here with some of these releases. I felt both Bright Neroli and Radiant Bergamot truly show that Ferrari heritage, Italian heritage, and they both have a classic feel to them, which may turn off scent heads that want things a little more modern. Even though bergamot is a modern note, and it's a fairly popular note these days, it's more the secondary notes that give you this classical feel in Radiant Bergamot. So immediately with this scent, you're hit with a triple threat here of ginger, lemon, and bergamot. Obviously very zesty, very radiant. Bergamot's the main player here, and it does show its radiant quality. Like many of the fresh Ferraris from this Essence line, the note on the bottle hits you right out of the park, right off the get-go. I felt the bergamot, and again, reviews, some say it's a trash bergamot note. Some are saying it's a great bergamot note. Honestly, I felt the bergamot very well done in this release. It sparkles off the bat. However, as bright and radiant as it is in the top, first few minutes, this sparkle turns more into a clean, soapy genre. So it has that very uplifting, very thin opening where it's very, it's showing a very nice thin citrus note. But at the end of the day, this starts going more into almost bright Neroli style, where you're getting more into a thicker, denser fragrance because it has more of a clean, soapy genre. So the bergamot is front and center with the lemons as its counterpart. The citruses then hold hands with the ginger note. The scent is truly a green one off the bat and will continue to push this green theme throughout. Here's where some may expect this scent to be a thin, radiant citrus and kind of may come off disappointed as it starts turning into a fresh out of the shower, clean, green, soapy scent. And that goes when the rosemary starts joining the party. This is where Radiant Bergamot isn't as radiant as the name states. It goes more into that classical, old school Italian cologne blend with a slight twist with bergamot as the primary instead of a lemon drop. However, keep in mind, there's still a little bit of a lemon splash here, so it doesn't stray away too much from that old school DNA, but the bergamot trumps that lemon note. Now moving into the heart and the base of this release, more into the back end of Radiant Bergamot, this scent does not move much. With many Ferraris, you're going to expect this, as it's fairly linear as a scent. Some of the notes listed, I didn't smell, including labdanum or the patchouli. And those are really the only real thick notes in this note breakdown. You still get the bergamot and lemon splash as they start fading slowly, hanging on for dear life. Then there's a mossy backbone that comes in. It continues with the green theme, so it's a green monster. It has some herbal tendencies, some spices with the nutmeg and the rosemary blending through. At this point, Radiant Bergamot turns very close to that barbershop appeal with a geranium lemon-like zest and floral qualities that some rosemary notes bring out. And some mossy tones here. So Radiant Bergamot kind of ends on that note. Mossy, rosemary heavy, with some herbs and spices. The nutmeg, of course, with of course the bergamot and the lemon drop kind of phasing through. Overall, Radiant Bergamot is a solid Ferrari release. For the price, I still can't, and it's getting, lately it's getting a lot of hate, and a lot of people are saying, it doesn't mesh with my... People were maybe expecting something a little more, less classical, a little less old school style, I would say. It started off favorably with the opening, and then they did not like where it was going. I could see that. It's not my favorite of the line. I actually prefer Noble Fig out of all the releases. However, it hits all the check marks as an easy to wear scent. And for the price, I might feel like this is going to be a home run for somebody. For a fragrance review, you cannot pan it for what it is, to be quite honest. So now let's get into the ratings as far as uniqueness and scent. Uniqueness, I'm going to give it 6 bottles out of 10. It reminds me of kind of like a Mugler Cologne meets Italian Bergamot by Zegna. Compared often to Bergamot 22, I don't see it, honestly. I feel like this is a cheaper release of those fragrances that I've named off, but at the same time still very solid. And that goes to the scent profile. I'm going to give it 7 bottles out of 10. There's nothing wrong with the scent profile in my personal opinion. I feel they gave the note of bergamot justice. Just the rest of the scent fell a little flat, honestly, but at the same time, it's out of personal taste of the back end of this release. Now into performance and feedback. My spray routine with this one, at least the one that I do the most with, is 2 on the chest. I usually do my 1 on the chest to clear the stem, but then I'll do another shot with this one. 2 on the neck, so I go 1 on each side here, and 2 on the arms, which I'm wearing a polo here, so it'll be inner elbows for me, And that's it. I can go a little more liberal with this one with the sprays. It's not going to do it any hurt as far as the release itself. You're just going to go through more of it. So 6 sprays is a lot, but that's my preferred spray routine. Longevity. This one's going to get 5 bottles out of 10. And the longevity on this is decent. It's not the worst I've seen with a fragrance built like this. So I'm going to give it 4 to 6 hours any given wearing for the longevity. Now moving on to projection. 5 bottles out of 10 also fairly average to low. So it's in the middle tier of what you're going to get as far as projection. Compliment factor, this thing also get 5 bottles out of 10. It's fairly tame as a compliment factor release. I didn't see anything too crazy here with my wearings or anything too bad with this release. And it's a very simple, straightforward scent that not too many people are going to hate on. So just giving you a heads up on that. Now let's move on to versatility on this one. Age range. I see this one as 20 and up. And I think the first few minutes of this release can be anybody's game. It's just a radiant bergamot as the name states, but then it goes more into a classical Italian release with the rosemary, and that's where I think it's going to lose the young ones. I feel it has a more classical style, so the younger crowd might not like the backbone of this release, and I understand why. Seasons. This is, of course, the easy ones is to say spring and summer. Daily, I think year-round, personally. When testing the start of fall, this thing actually did very well in the start of fall. So honestly, I don't see a season that this wouldn't work well as a daily driver. And that goes to day or night. This is obviously, like I said, in seasons. This is more of a daily driver. It's a daytime scent. I don't see this as, and again, you can wear it at night. You can wear it on a date. You can wear it, but it just doesn't have much personality to it personally for me. It's one of those that's kind of just a boring scent that does well. Occasions. I feel like this is more of a casual use. I wouldn't dress this one up. You can. Versatility is the name of the game with this release. It just doesn't have much personality for me. So casual, office, daily wear scent. This is one of those. You need a few of these in your arsenal, depending on your taste. If you like bergamot, if you like soapy scents, if you like, the Bleu de Chanel's and stuff like that. You need a couple, like the Pradas and stuff like that. You need a few of these, not too many. This one would fit the bill. And that goes to versatility as an overall score. I'm going to give this one 9 bottles out of 10. This is its strength. Dress it up, dress it down, wear it almost all year round. I don't see any weakness as far as the versatility goes. Let's move on to value, how much this thing is worth to me. So bottle size is available. From what I see is what you see is what you get here, the 3.4 ounce bottle. Pricing, you're looking at around $20 to $30. I know retail, these things used to go around 100 or more. Don't be a sucker. Go 20, 30 discounters, and this one is readily available. Going to availability, yes, it is available as time of shoot. If you asked me a few years back, that would have been a different answer. Presentation. These Ferraris from their Essence line, ultimately outstanding. So hard to find anything as far as presentation goes. If you're a sucker for good bottle presentation, all that, they've put in work. The green juice, awesome. Radioactive green juice, awesome. Amazing bottle look. Very deep glass, heavy glass. The cap that kind of looks like a gear shift with the pleather look going around it with the stitching. Just absolutely beautiful, stunning presentation. They would get a 10 out of me for presentation with all these Ferraris. They're absolutely gorgeous. And that goes for pricing versus quality as an overall score. I'm going to give this one 9 bottles out of 10. Good bang for your buck. A lot of these Ferraris, they're going to get a high score here. And that includes Radiant Bergamot. So now let's take a look at some positives and negatives to take away. Let's take a look at some positives on this one. Price versus quality is a very positive thing for this release is the pricing and what you get out of the juice. I feel like you're getting a really good bang for your buck here. The bergamot note, not the best in the game, no. But the blend itself and what you're getting out of the scent itself, I gotta say, is a positive, and it's easy to throw on. So its versatility is up there through the roof. Negatives to take away. What are things that are not so good about this release? This isn't the best bergamot in the game. You're going to get better, obviously. You pay more, you get what you get. Slight hit for the price. I can't complain too much, and that's the one thing that I got to emphasize when I'm saying it's a negative. For $30, I'm hard-pressed to find a better bergamot in the game, basically. It has some classic old school vibe to it that may turn some people off. And I've been seeing that, you know, some people saying, oh, I like that opening, but then after a while it just goes somewhere I didn't want it to go. And that's one thing. It was very thin, bergamot, sparkly, kind of what people are kind of used to in the designer game, you know, the bergamot opening. But then it goes classical. And, you know, that may be for the more mature crowd, to be quite honest. So let's go into my final thoughts on Radiant Bergamot. There's better bergamots in the game. Yeah, but look at that price versus what I got here. I can't hate on it. I really can't. It's not a standout from the Ferrari line, honestly. However, it is a solid release in my personal opinion. With these Ferraris, I try to keep my expectations to its price range and not get overly excited about hype or how well the others in the line have done. But I'm pleasantly surprised with every single one that I unbox. And with Radiant Bergamot, I think it did the note justice. It's a solid release. Is it something forgettable? Yeah, honestly. But if you gave me a Bergamot-based list of scents under $50, this would make that top 5 list. It would be actually pretty high on that list. It would have to be. So at the end of the day, it's a good scent overall, especially for price. So my overall score for Radiant Bergamot would have to be 7 bottles out of 10. I think it's a very solid release from the House of Ferrari, not the best from them, but at the end of the day, a very solid release. Would I recommend this one? Buy, try, or pass? And again, at the end of the day, this is a try. I feel like it's very polarizing. People are on one spectrum and on the other spectrum. I feel like since the hype has died down, more people tend to hate, is the popular thing to hate on this release, than when it was very scarce and hard to find. And when people got bottles, they were like, oh, this is great, this is great. And that's where you got to kind of tune it out as a reviewer and say, okay, overall versus the whole spectrum, how good is this release? And that's why it's going buy, try, or pass, because it's very much in the middle of the game. And for me, I'm giving it a solid 7 out of 10 because I feel it's deserving of that score without all that noise. Is it hype train worthy? Probably not. Is it good? Yeah, decent. Yeah, very good release. Now that you heard my take on Radiant Bergamot, it's your turn. Comments below. Let us know what you think. You don't have to agree with me. As always, good, bad, and the ugly, please share. I'd love to see what you guys think about this release and the Essence line from the House of Ferrari. I'm going to leave you with a few takes from my social media. I did ask everybody on their thoughts on this release. Good, bad, and the ugly. I will share them at the end of this video, so keep it tuned in. You're going to see those at the back end. At the end of the day, greater pour fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your Ferrari-based release wisely. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Have a good one.